So like, who's someone that you had a perception in your head that might be negative that you met and then they completely proved you wrong?
I think NBA YoungBoy.
When 6ix9ine sat down on the Fresh and Fit podcast, nobody saw what was coming. Out of nowhere, he brought up NBA YoungBoy. And not to diss him, but to actually defend him. For years, people have speculated about how these two wild figures in rap really felt about each other. But 6ix9ine didn't just tease or play coy this time. He dropped real talk, revealing a side of YoungBoy that fans never thought they'd hear about. What he said had everyone online buzzing. Suddenly, people were looking at YoungBoy in a whole new light. Flashback to 2018, before the snitching headlines, before the courtrooms, before the chaos. Both 6ix9ine and YoungBoy were at their peaks. Was everywhere. Rainbow hair, wild antics, controversy after controversy. Every move he made was news. And on the other side, YoungBoy Never Broke Again was coming up strong from Baton Rouge, pouring real pain and emotion into every track he dropped. His grind was nonstop, his sound was raw, and his fan base was growing crazy fast. So when 6ix9ine got asked to name a rapper who completely flipped his expectations, his answer shocked everyone. Nobody expected him to show respect like that, and especially not towards someone as unpredictable as YoungBoy. The whole room went silent. Then the internet exploded.
So like, who's someone that you had a perception in your head that might be negative that you met and then they completely proved you wrong?
I think NBA YoungBoy.
Okay.
So I thought NBA YoungBoy, like, you know, that had a, like, want to be down, like, how I say, like, I met him at a basketball game, but this is before cooperation.
Okay, what year? Oh, this is like 2018-ish? Like,
yeah.
The whole story went down courtside at a basketball game in Los Angeles. Not some flashy label event, not a studio collab, just a random night that turned into something unforgettable. It wasn't planned, it wasn't business. I mean, it was real life showing who NBA YoungBoy truly is. Two artists from completely different lanes ended up face to face. 6ix9ine expected the same energy he always heard in YoungBoy's songs, that raw aggression, that guarded attitude, that don't mess with me vibe. But what he got instead caught him off guard. YoungBoy didn't pull up deep with bodyguards or crew. He walked up alone, calm and confident. And instead of flexing, he showed real love and respect. That one moment said more than 1,000 interviews ever could. It shattered the image everyone had built in their heads, proving that behind the headlines and chaos, YoungBoy's got depth, composure, and heart.
I just walked up to him by myself.
Oh,
He said it. I got it right here. You want to see it? So he's like, yo, I walked with 6ix9ine. He mad cool. He came up to me by himself.
and this is in New York City?
No, it was in LA.
LA, okay.
I'm gonna see. I saved it, but NBA YoungBoy, he's pretty down to earth.
6ix9ine later confessed he was shocked by how down-to-earth YoungBoy really was. He said it straight. The vibe was nothing like what he expected. Coming from a guy who's been around some of the most unpredictable and dangerous names in hip-hop, that kind of statement hits different. According to 6ix9ine, YoungBoy wasn't the reckless, out-of-control wild card the media paints him as. Nah, he was calm, loyal, and grounded, moving with quiet confidence instead of chaos. 6ix9ine even said YoungBoy only snaps back when someone pushes him first. He's not out here looking for trouble. He just doesn't run from it. That honesty made people look at both of them in a new light. Like maybe, just maybe, there's more to these rappers than the headlines ever show.
I think he's just misunderstood, bro. I think people just misunderstand his music. It's real.
Yeah, people think he's like reckless and violent. I mean,
Nah, he's not. He's actually, he only people who with him.
According to 6ix9ine, people got YoungBoy all wrong. He said fans hear the rage and pain in his lyrics and assume that's who he is all day, every day. Like he's some walking explosion waiting to go off. But that's not the truth at all. Behind the hard bars and intense energy, there's discipline. There's a code he actually lives by. 6ix9ine explained that YoungBoy moves with respect, plain and simple. If you show him love, he gives it right back. But if you cross him, he's gonna stand his ground. No hesitation, nothing extra, no fake energy. It's just a man protecting his name and what's his. What stood out most to 6ix9ine was how consistent that energy was. Even when someone randomly sent YoungBoy a message showing love, he didn't ignore it or act Hollywood. Instead, he instantly sent that same love back. No ego, no drama, just real respect between two artists who've both been misunderstood.
6ix9ine was going to tell me to tell you he love you. He say he really you. Man, Shorty a real nigga. Shorty just seen me and greeted me.
6ix9ine took it even deeper. He said most people will never really know who YoungBoy is because they're too scared to even try. Everyone's so caught up in the headlines, the mugshots, and all the rap beefs that they forget there's an actual person behind that image. They see the tough exterior and instantly assume he's cold, dangerous, or impossible to approach. But according to 6ix9ine, that couldn't be further from the truth. He said if you walk up to YoungBoy with genuine respect, you'll see the real him, the chill, down-to-earth dude who doesn't need to act hard to earn it. 6ix9ine even put it plainly. YoungBoy is one of the coolest, realest guys you'll ever meet. That statement alone flipped the internet upside down because coming from that kind of praise doesn't come cheap.
Most niggas be scared to come up to us. For what? We some of the coolest niggas you can meet. That nigga seen me and greeted me though, and kept it going. Real nigga. Y'all met each other?
They gonna skip that part though.
That revelation hit fans like a bomb. It wasn't coming from a journalist fishing for clicks or a close friend trying to protect an image. It came from 6ix9ine, the same guy who built a whole career out of controversy and chaos. Hearing him say that one of the most polarizing rappers alive was actually misunderstood, that flipped the internet upside down. But it wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. For once, 6ix9ine didn't clap back or throw shade at someone who had dissed him in the past. Instead, he spoke with real respect. That kind of maturity caught everyone off guard. Social media instantly split in half. Some people applauded his honesty, saying maybe he was finally growing up, while others called it a desperate PR move to fix his image. Still, the interview blew up overnight, hundreds of thousands of views in just days. And for the first time in years, people weren't talking about YoungBoy's charges, beefs, or mugshots. They were talking about his character. Fast forward to late 2025, YoungBoy walks out of federal prison with a presidential pardon that broke the internet. The second he touched down, he announced his Make America Slime Again tour. And what followed didn't even feel like concerts. It was pure mayhem mixed with devotion. Crowds were massive, filling arenas from New Orleans to Orlando, Columbia, and Atlanta. But in New Orleans' Smoothie King Center, things went from hype to hectic real quick. Fans without tickets tried forcing their way inside. Not just a small push, but a full-blown mob scene. Security went into emergency mode as police rushed to hold the line while chaos unfolded outside.
He's got a new tour called the Massa Tour, Make America Slime Again.
What?
Yeah, that's what it stands for.
Make America Slime Again. So
Isn't slime a blood term?
I was about to say that. It's so easy.
So you just put it front and center.
Even after the concert wrapped up, the chaos didn't stop. It exploded. Thousands of fans refused to leave, flooding the streets of the French Quarter like it was Mardi Gras, all screaming YoungBoy's name at the top of their lungs. The energy was unreal, pure madness mixed with love. Police had no choice but to physically carry YoungBoy through waves of fans just to get him to his car. It wasn't just a concert anymore. It felt like a political rally, a full-blown movement in motion. From that point on, law enforcement treated every YoungBoy show like a major operation. Each stop on the tour meant new strategies, barricades, and backup plans just to keep things under control. In Atlanta, resale tickets hit insane prices. People were dropping whole paychecks just to get in. In Orlando, fans surrounded his SUV like it was a parade float. And in Columbia, police even issued public warnings before the show started, trying to prepare for what was coming. This wasn't hype anymore. This was history in motion. And the name of the tour itself, Make America Slime Again, carried a bold message that couldn't be ignored. It played on politics, street culture, and identity all at once. Slime, long tied to blood gang culture, wasn't hidden or coded. It was front and center, printed on merch, flashing across massive LED screens, chanted by thousands. It was YoungBoy's way of saying loud and clear, I am who I am, even when the world's watching. That statement hit hardest when the tour rolled into the most controversial stop of all, Chicago, Lil Durk's city. a place where their feud had already spilled off the internet and into the streets, and now the tension was about to reach its boiling point.
But and I also see where he's supposed to be going to Chicago.
Yeah.
I hope he don't do that.
I think he'll be fine.
You think so?
There'll be so much police presence there.
Okay, but this
There'll be an army of Chicago PD out there.
I
an
totally
army.
agree with that. I totally agree with that. But this
An
what I'm
army. None of these dudes ain't gonna do anything.
okay. Well, let me ask you this though.
Let me show you. Drake performed in Philly and I think you were locked up during that time, but during the whole Drake Meek Mill war, he went to Philly and performed the diss song in Philly. All the Philly dudes were the part of
Commentators like Terrence Gangsta Williams were openly wondering if YoungBoy would even make it out of that Chicago show alive. The tension was that real. Williams compared it to when Drake hit the stage in Philly during his beef with Meek Mill. Heavy risk, massive police presence, and every second feeling like something could pop off. But just like Drake back then, YoungBoy handled it with power and precision. He showed up, performed his full set, and walked out untouched, proving once again that fear doesn't run him or his people. Meanwhile, clips from his New Jersey and New York stops were taking over social media. Fans were wilding, word-for-word chants, mosh pits, chaos that felt almost spiritual. Even people who didn't follow rap were shocked by how emotional the energy was in those crowds. Industry legends said it reminded them of early Tupac or DMX, that rare electricity you only see once in a generation. Despite getting almost no radio play and 0 major awards, YoungBoy was packing out arenas like he was one of the biggest pop stars in the world. The numbers were too loud to ignore. Even the same media outlets that used to downplay him were now trying to keep up. Rolling Stone dropped a full feature on his fan base calling it the YB effect, breaking down how his music built a community that borders on cult-level loyalty. Independent vloggers and street journalists followed the entire tour, documenting how every city he hit turned into organized chaos, a mix of danger, passion, and connection that no PR team could manufacture. Fans cried, screamed, and fought just to be near him. And through it all, YoungBoy kept it real, showing love whenever he could. Whether at meet and greets or random moments after shows, he'd hug fans, sign gear, take pictures, sometimes clearly frustrated by how wild things got, but always showing gratitude. It wasn't polished or planned, it was real. And that's exactly why his supporters don't just see him as a rapper. They see him as one of their own. But behind all that success, there was a darker current running beneath the surface. A life built on tension, court cases, and violence that never truly left him. To really understand YoungBoy's rise, you gotta face the chaos that shaped him. Back in March 2025, while locked up at FCI Talladega in Alabama, things exploded behind bars. According to insiders like Terrence Gangsta Williams, another inmate, said to be connected to OTF Lil Durk's crew, tried to provoke YoungBoy by shouting gang affiliations down the block. Big mistake. Without hesitation, YoungBoy launched what prisoners call a two-piece, 2 sharp punches that dropped the man cold.
Well, didn't you say the YoungBoy knocked out an inmate when he was locked up?
He had a fight in jail.
Okay.
So one of my homies reached out to me, and he was like, yeah, I want to correct the story. He said YoungBoy came to the... One of them dudes said some gang, that little, one of them gang signs, YoungBoy wanted to see about it. Went to the unit, and he went to go to the unit straight to fight the guy. So now it's 2 stories. One that he beat the guy up in the cells, and one that they didn't fight, that they was going to fight.
Reports still conflict about what exactly went down that day. Some say it started with words, others say it was pure disrespect, but the ending was the same. A brutal fight that shook the whole block. The aftermath hit quick. Guards rushed in, lockdown alarms blaring, and YoungBoy was thrown straight into solitary confinement, better known as the Hole. He spent several days isolated while officials ran an internal investigation, trying to piece together what really happened. Rumors flew around online, fans panicked, and blogs claimed his early release might get canceled. But none of it stuck. Despite all the chaos and speculation, his scheduled release date, July 27th, 2025, stayed locked in stone.
I got an update. NBA YoungBoy, he's housed at Talladega. That's in Alabama. he been standing on business. So for y'all who want to know what's going on with NBA YoungBoy, he been standing on business. He went to the hole. They found a cell phone in his cell, and his cellar took charge. He shot to come home. So he got out 2 days ago. He's in the hole now. It was a guy from Mississippi. He yelled out, OTF. YoungBoy say, you OTF?
This wasn't YoungBoy's first time catching heat behind bars, not even close. Back in 2021, while he was locked up at St. Martin Parish Jail on federal gun charges, things got tense again. According to leaked reports, he got into it with a 43-year-old inmate, and the reason? The TV volume. What started as a small argument quickly turned wild. Witnesses claimed YoungBoy snapped, allegedly attacking the man and threatening to put a bag on his head, meaning he'd put money on a hit and even harm the guy's family. That moment became a serious turning point once it hit the courtroom. Prosecutors wasted no time using it to paint YoungBoy as a dangerous menace, arguing that he was too much of a risk to even be granted bond. Fast forward to December 2024, after years of fighting case after case, YoungBoy finally pled guilty to firearm possession charges in both Louisiana and Utah. Instead of facing a brutal sentence that could have easily stretched into years, the court hit him with 23 months in federal prison. His lawyer, Drew Findling, famously known as the $1 billion lawyer, pulled off what most people called a miracle. By merging multiple cases into a single federal sentence, he turned what could have been a career-ending stretch into something survivable. Observers were stunned. The industry couldn't believe he'd beaten the odds again.
Well, the irony of this case, because the way the government is trying to present this is that this is all fallout from the Lil Durk NBA YoungBoy beef. And what's interesting is that you actually were representing NBA YoungBoy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which case was it? Was it the gun case and the drug case, or?
I represented him in the Baton Rouge gun case.
Okay. That's when he was filming the music video in front of his grandfather's house?
Yeah. The Utah drug case.
Right. That's with the prescription
and
pills.
And the Utah gun case.
They went into his house and found a gun.
The Louisiana case dated all the way back to 2020, a music video shoot in Baton Rouge that went left fast. Police swarmed the set and ended up finding multiple firearms, turning what was supposed to be a flashy visual into a federal investigation. But that was only half the story. The Utah case was way more complicated and way darker. It came from an April 2024 raid while YoungBoy was still on house arrest. Authorities didn't just find guns this time, they uncovered what prosecutors called a prescription drug fraud ring. Court documents listed 63 separate charges, including forgery, identity theft, and illegal possession of controlled substances. Investigators said the operation used stolen doctor IDs and DEA numbers to score bottles of codeine and promethazine from pharmacies all over Cache County, Utah. It sounded like something out of a movie, except this was real life. When that story broke, fellow Louisiana legend Boozy spoke out. He didn't defend what happened, but he said he understood it. Boozy said he wasn't shocked, not because it was right, but because addiction doesn't care who you are. He even opened up about his own battles with codeine, admitting that even the threat of prison wasn't enough to shake the habit.
I just feel like when you need help, you need help. I mean, I was facing jail time. This right before I went, and I couldn't get off the weed and codeine. Like,
so codeine,
I needed help. I never, when I got to prison, I did more codeine than I was doing on the street. I needed help. It was no amount of time that I was facing that could make me get off it. Vlad, you gotta understand, we be needing help.
Boozy called it for what it was, a disease, not a lifestyle choice. And in YoungBoy's case, it was another heavy chain around his neck, dragging him deeper into the struggle. Eventually, his powerhouse attorney, Drew Findling, worked his magic again, merging every single charge into one unified sentence and counting all that time he'd already served on house arrest. When the deal hit the news, the rap world couldn't believe it. Even 600 Breezy, a Chicago rapper and longtime critic, jumped online to question how YoungBoy managed to walk away with such a light outcome compared to everyone else.
Let me ask a question now.
Let's go.
Because you know I ain't biased and I don't be trying to be hating on niggas. Now, this nigga had 2 federal cases, right or wrong?
Yes.
So is
The
both
drug
of them over?
case and the gun case.
So is both of them done?
I believe so, yeah.
How did he only do a year or 2 for a federal gun charge, and they supposed to gave him 2-3 years for the drugs and shit like that? Like, how did that happen?
In the end, YoungBoy walked out of prison in March 2025, and just 2 months later, the world couldn't believe what came next. He received a full presidential pardon from Donald Trump, turning one of hip-hop's wildest redemption stories into something straight out of a movie. It was a moment that left fans speechless and critics stunned, a twist so surreal it perfectly matched the chaos of the life that built it. What 6ix9ine revealed about YoungBoy wasn't just about his personality, it was about perception. The massive gap between who the world thinks he is and who he might really be. He's both sides of the storm, the chaos and the calm, the problem and the phenomenon all rolled into one. A man who can turn a prison fight into legend and a packed concert into a movement. Love him or hate him, one thing's crystal clear. NBA YoungBoy isn't just another rapper chasing clout or headlines. He's living proof that no matter how wild your story gets, the world will always tune in just to see what you'll do next. If you made it this far, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about YoungBoy's journey? I'll catch you in the next one.